Hi, folks. Welcome to the Chooch Podcast. We're here, we're back, we're live, we're recording. And it's Evo weekend. It's Evo weekend. Folks, it's always a good time to watch some fighting games, and Evo is just another one of those times. And I'm excited to watch some. And I'm excited to talk about it, because I've been watching some of it, and it's been good. Maverick, you're here. I'm John, by the way. I forget if I said so. I'm John. Yes, I'm hosting. Maverick, you're here as well. Have you been watching any Evo?
Hey, what's up? I watched a little bit yesterday. I was catching it on Balp. He was doing a bit of like a host stream kind of a deal, just, going through, seeing what's up. I saw footage of, God, what is it called? Phantom Breaker, I think? Some anime fighter that is equal parts dire as it is just wonderful to watch.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but actually, I can't say I've heard nothing but something about that game, because I feel like I've just heard like, this game's insane, this game's horrible, this game's great. Like, it's just been every possible reaction under the sun about that game.
I think there's like one character specifically that is rendered in 3D, and then everybody else is just like a 2D like sprite or just a composite.
That's insane.
That's
what are they
fucking
doing?
nuts. I also saw a bit of Multiverses trying to do its stuff, and for a game trying to have its first set of matches on a main stage, it's definitely it's the growing pains are showing.
Yeah,
they're definitely showing.
Absolutely. Yeah, as much as I like that game, I really don't think it feels good for a competitive thing. Like, it does not feel like a competitive game. Like, it does not feel like an esports thing.
I mean, either way you look at it, that is apparently a pot that's worth 100,000. So people are making it competitive.
Yeah, they're gonna make it so if they want to or not, basically. But
you're earning the budget. You're earning the budget that would have kept a little bit. Would have at least funded one episode of Joe Paris season 3 when you win that pot.
What a shame. I don't want to underplay Warner Brothers' current woes, because it is very frustrating right now. But I don't know. Video games, they're continuing. It's crazy. Evo's happening. We did get some Evo news going on here. I watched the Skullgirls top 8. So that was nice. I will say they did announce something there, which is cool. So the final character for the first season of Skullgirls DLC characters, which is kind of funny to think about, because it's not really. They did all that DLC back in the day, but I guess this is the first season for Second Encore, because they like relaunched it and all that. It's Marie, who, if you've played Skullgirls, she is the final boss when you play through like the arcade mode. So as a Skullgirls knower, I will say the reason why they're doing this is because back in the day, they specifically mentioned, okay, if we get these characters in the game, we will be able to do an actual story mode, like a full-on story mode. And it has basically just been the characters that they've added for the DLC. It was Umbrella, it was Annie, it was Black Dahlia, and Marie. So those are the 4 characters they needed to add to do the story mode. So I'm guessing they're just going to do that now, barring any kind of issues. I don't know when they'll do it, because they haven't really said anything publicly about it. Or at the very least, they haven't really said anything since, like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years ago when they said that, I think on their Indiegogo that they did back in the day. Because they were like kind of trying to push people to like, because during the Indiegogo they were letting people vote on which characters they wanted to be made, and they were sort of pushing like, hey, pick these characters and we'll do the story mode, and then people didn't pick those characters. So I guess they're just doing it now. They're doing it how they wanted. So there we go. Marie is going to be playable. Um, no footage shown. They said that she'll be added in 2023 sometime because they are still finishing Black Dahlia. Was it Black? No. Yeah, Black Dahlia. Um, so we will see sooner or later where how she'll play and all that. Um,
Good on him. It's been fucking,
the,
what, 10 years?
yeah, it has.
The Skullgirls launch party, still ongoing.
It never ends.
Never ends.
It never ends.
But, the idea that they can be able to say, hey, we have a completed fighting game with roster and DLC out, and soon we can start looking at another project. I don't know, that feels exciting. I can feel like there's definitely a residual energy as they're like, hey, this is our last character for the most part.
I mean, they are calling this season 1. They are very explicitly calling this season 1. So I don't know. I think the thing with this game, I think, funnily enough, is that I almost feel like they're making these characters less for the actual like full Skullgirls game and more for the mobile game. And then it just kind of trickles down to like, well, when we make a character for the mobile game, you could just play as them in the full game. Because apparently the mobile game makes them a lot of money. So
I believe it.
I'm guessing they're just kind of like it's just sort of trickling down into itself, basically, and I'm not gonna complain about it because for what it's worth, as it's a gacha game, sure, but like they put in like a good amount of effort into the mobile game, and if you want to play a fighting game on your mobile phone, it is like the one of the better ones of those, for what it is. But yeah, I'm glad that they're out there, and I mean they're worker owned now. They are living their best life. They are actually out there doing what they're doing because they want to do it instead of having to answer to pretty much anybody else. So yeah, good on Hidden Variable. Good on that team. I'm always happy to see good stuff happening with them. Let's see here. So, there will be bigger Evo announcements as the weekend goes on. We're gonna probably be back next week talking about like big character reveals or even new game reveals. But for now, the announcements that have happened at Evo are mostly rollback related. The Persona 4 Arena Ultimax rollback update is finally out. They just released it. It is in a beta state on Steam. But I guess on PS4 you just update the game and it's there. But there you go. We can finally play Persona 4 Arena Ultimax with rollback netcode as the gods intended. Another game that's getting rollback, but not until next year, is Samurai Showdown, the newer one. Feels kind of late, but better late than never, and I hope it does give that game a little bit of a kick in the pants, because people do really seem to like it, and it would be nice to have people play it.
Going to be seeing a lot of rollback.
Yeah. And for a game that already has rollback, but is getting another kind of update here, is KOF 15. It is getting cross-platform play. So, sometime in the future, there's not really any specific day. But, yeah, more ways to play fighting games against your friends. I think Guilty Gear Strive also had an update where they mentioned about when they said they're gonna be adding crossplay this fall, and they're also adding another character in the summer, and they are reducing input delay for the PS5 version. So that'll be nice for PS5 players. I saw some people were like saying like it's crazy that like the game runs better on PS4 Pro than on PS5. Um, and yeah, they got new characters planned as well. New character in the summer, new character in the fall, and then sometime in 2023 there will be another new character. Or no, two more characters in 2023. So lots of updates for Strive. I mean, they're probably going to reveal a character at Evo and like talk about when they're coming out. Um, so we're gonna see how that shakes out. Fighting games are bigger than ever, and they're getting good updates. It's all stuff that is actually useful and that people want to see, like rollback netcode and crossplay and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm about it. Let's hope for any sort of update to that on like Tekken.
Yes, absolutely.
I say that right now, and then Harada's looking for me. He
Mm-hmm.
knows that I'm out there, and he's gonna find me, and he's gonna make me shut the fuck up.
He's going to do 3 electric wind god fists on you,
Yeah,
juggle your fucking body around the goddamn
I'm
room.
gonna get wrung out, even though it's an enclosed space. I mean, it could also be that oh surprise, it's Tekken 8 with rollback, but
Yeah, we'll see. We will see.
yeah, I believe Tekken Top 8 is currently happening right now as we podcast.
I don't I don't know about that. I think it's MK11 that's happening currently.
Okay.
Yeah, I think today is like MK and like Melty Blood and a couple of other things. I think Tekken's probably going to be tomorrow because they usually have like Tekken and Street Fighter and like the big ones on Sunday.
Yeah.
Um,
We gotta go.
yeah, Maverick,
Yeah.
what have you been up to otherwise? Have you been gaming?
For a bit, there's stuff I'm definitely looking at that I have to just start. But after being
Mm-hmm.
sick for a minute, it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
I just need something to ease back into and just feel comfortable with again. So I figured, fuck it, let me go
Mm-hmm.
back into Monster Hunter for a bit. I've been doing Master
Sure.
Rank, and gotta say, it's still really good. I like the addition of support surveys and follow requests. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
an additional like single player group mode that they added, where support surveys are basically, hey, go hunt a few of these monsters, but you get to select a few of the NPCs that we introduced to join alongside you. And so, if there is any anxiety about having sort of like that multiplayer like sensibility, or if it's even just a
Mm-hmm.
case of like, hey, my connection's kind of shit, I kind of don't feel like hunting this solo, I still need some sort of backup. I appreciate having that as an alternative or as just another way to like build support. And then you also have follow requests, which pop up every now and again, which are just other ways to bring other NPCs into the fold and just be like, hey, help
Mm-hmm.
me hunt down this monster. And it's like, cool, I get to like have, the quote unquote mentor to my guy join up, and then like I can just actually recruit him for future things. I can have the quest maidens from the main hub come by, and they'll do shit. Fun little ways to still just like blend some of the stuff. I feel like Rise is doing a lot to just make its environment, well, its hub environment at least, very like connected in a way,
Mm-hmm.
versus what can feel very different to world in the way that the environments look like. It's another way that it tries to bring together a sense of uh wait, and it's definitely something I would hope does branch over into World 2 or whatever that next big jump is that I'm expecting
Mm-hmm.
is going to be, console, uh, across all consoles, across PC. So that's fun. And with going up Master Rank, been meeting a bunch of new guys. There's a lot of fellas out here.
What kind of guys are we talking here? Like other hunters? Or are we talking monsters?
Oh, we're talking monsters, baby. A lot of new monsters.
All right, tell me about these guys. All
right. So I'm not fully done yet with the main Master Rank stuff. So there's still some things I'm missing out on. But I was also low on high rank. And I finally hit Hunter rank 100. And that meant I could fight the fucking Crimson Glow Valstrax. Did you ever think about what if a jet plane was a dragon?
Well, I play Yu-Gi-Oh! So yes.
But
continue.
This is what if a jet plane was a dragon and he was able to close his fucking wings together to shoot a blast of exhaust flames at you.
All right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, very Yu-Gi-Oh, which I am saying very positively here. That is good.
Yeah, just a really good way to end out high rank. I can see why a bunch of people would be farming that boy into anticipation for Sunbreak. But then some of the new Master Rank fellows I found were Lunagaron, which is sort of like a little dog. You know, of the various beasts and creatures that are here in the world of Monster Hunter, you got dragon, you got bird, you got dog, you got beast. This one's of the dog variety. It does some nice little ice damage, fucks you up. It's fun. Astalos looks like a goddamn Razer keyboard, complete with the little RGB lights in between. And it does a cool thing where it'll jab its tail into the ground, and it'll emit a little like electricity hub that'll like fuck you up. Some of these later ones, it feels like they're getting into some bullet hell bullshit, and I really respect that in terms of just going nutso on concept and design where, you know, even the idea of saying, oh, a giant blue hermit crab that does bleed damage because it has scythes for hands is somehow tamer. You know, it reminds you that this is a Capcom game, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Literally looking at this shit like a character select screen, and it's like, some of these motherfuckers, let me tell you. Serigios is literally doing drop kicks at you. This is a dragon that does drop kicks at you. And throws like scales that also do bleed damage. This was a bitch to fight, and I really had to like get some supports in to really like do any kind of like damage. But alongside that, one of my new favorites, I think, is Spinas. Sort of like this prickly, spiky dragon deal. Can breathe fire. Can inflict poison. Pretty, you know, straightforward with what it goes for. Its armor set is the edgiest fucking bullshit, where the helmet is like a wig. And then you have like some dumb cyberpunk gear. You can make gear for your dog where the dog just looks like Nero. And it gets a little pocket knife. Like a little switchblade.
All right.
And then your cat can also do this similar armor setup where it's like you're wearing, like, cat's got like chaps and like a vest with like goggles. It's dumb and it's really good. I dig it. And then just before the podcast, I was able to catch up with Gormagala, which is it's a dragon with a cape, but the cape is part of its body.
It's pretty sick.
It's pretty sick. You know, if you heard us over a few weeks ago on Unlimited Railworks, already said, giant robot with like a tattered cloak or a cape, that's pretty baller.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
you take that and you carry that over into like an organic design, I'm shaking your hand because that is just A+ work. I really appreciate it. And, just been really enjoying getting to this tail end, and especially when there's going to be a title update coming up within the next or by the end of this month, which is going to add more monsters, it's going to add more reason to play. I've, for a minute, have been trying to figure out, do I have a gacha? Do I have an MMO? Do I have something that I have like long-term investment in that I can just continuously play on and off? And for a minute, I would think, not really. Monster Hunter comes in and is like, hey, we got you. And I am so glad that it is filling that niche that for a while I've just felt like, I don't know if there's anything out there for me that is sort of like that long-term investment. Go in, go out, and just play as you're able to. And it's been really just a good way to, even on days where it's like, I know I could start something else, but I'm not feeling super keen on it. Let me just load up Monster Hunter, put up a stream VOD or a podcast, and just take the afternoon still doing something.
Chill out, yeah.
Yeah, just hang out. A lot of the armor sets are also looking really dumb in like a weird tokusatsu way, and it's pretty dope.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're having a good-ass time.
Thank you.
So, I have also kind of just been playing one game, and it's been the same game that I've been playing for a while. I have just been playing Xenoblade 1. And I finished it. But I ask you, at what cost? At what cost? Because I liked this game. I finished it. I liked it. I'm gonna give you the rundown of my feelings here. The ending is bad. Not necessarily for like the story or whatever, because like, I'm still kind of processing it, and it's not really like anything too crazy. I walked away from this just being like, yeah, I like 2 way more than 1. I feel like if anyone's trying to be like, if anyone is still super hung up on the bunny lady or any of the other designs from 2, like, you owe it to yourself to play 1 or you owe it to yourself to play it still if you liked 1, because it really is just better in like every conceivable way. And some of it, like, for a good most of it, it's just like, yeah, there's improvements. And it's not just like this huge deal. Again, I'm not saying that 1 is like garbage. It's still good. It's still worth checking out. But like, again, 2 is just so much better. And I can really just respect how good it is after playing 1 and being like, okay, yeah, this is what they improved on. They improved on the writing. They improved on the combat. They improved on the fights. They improved on like everything, really. Like, it's a good sequel. It is what a sequel should be. So then the ending is just, it goes on for too long. That's my main problem. And I know part of it was just because I'm like, okay, yeah, I have Xenoblade 3 in my house and I want to get started on it. But there is a point where you just get to a door, like you get challenged. So, to not spoil anything, you get challenged by like the final boss's second in command, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna have to go through this battle to fight me." So you fight like one enemy, and it's like, okay, is that it? No, then you go into another room, and there's another bigger, stronger enemy. All right. The next room has 2 of that enemy at the same time. Okay. Go into another room. There's a stronger version of the first enemy. Okay. Am I done? You go into another room. There's a locked door. Okay, you have to climb up this tower. You climb up the tower. You press a button. It summons a dragon. There haven't been dragons in this game before. Nobody says anything about it. There's just a dragon here now. You fight the dragon, then you get the key to go through the door, and then you finally fight the second in command guy. It's a lot. Like, again, it's not anything like bad, like I'm not like, oh my god, this is like the worst thing that I've ever done in a video game. But it's just paced so poorly. A lot of this game is paced really weird. I just think about, like Xenoblade 2. I feel like they gave you what you needed to get out of the story as you went through it. And it's a weird thing, like playing the sequel before I play the original. And really, really seeing how much they improved, but I don't want to say like having to go through, oh, it's so difficult. I'm trying not to sound like a fucking baby about it, because it's still a good game. But I also did hit a point where I bumped it down to easy mode, because, fighting all those enemies, they grow in level very quickly. And, you, like, enter that final area, or I entered that final area around level 70, and you're very quickly fighting, like, level 75 to level 80 enemies, like, as soon as you walk in there. So I was just like, I don't want to have to grind. Like, this isn't a skill issue thing. This isn't me, like, having to be better at the game. It was pure grinding. It was pure taking a shit ton of time to grind out levels. So I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to finish this game. I don't give a shit. Here you go. So I bumped it down to easy for the last, like, couple of fights. Whatever. I'm absolutely someone who will not judge you for for playing easy mode throughout the entire game. Just for me personally, I was enjoying the difficulty. I was enjoying being the way that I was being challenged in that way, in the normal difficulty. But then I stopped having fun with that because I have a job and I wanted to, finish this game. But then I realized that if I just moved straight to Xenoblade 3, I would never play the Future Connected expansion. So I'm playing that now.
And how is it?
I mean, it's more of that. It's weird because this was made after Xenoblade 2, but they kind of had to keep it the same as Xenoblade 1. So it's got a couple of, like, improvements here and there. But it's definitely still got that same vibe. But I don't know. It's neat. It's a nice. I'm sure if you played the original Xenoblade 1 when it came out, it would be like this lovely, like, oh man, it's Shulk and Melia, that's lovely. Also, yeah, your party, it's Shulk and Melia, and then 2 of Ricky's kids, which is pretty funny.
All right.
Yeah, they're cute. And again, to kind of show off how much better the writing is, like, I've just been enjoying the writing a bit better as I've gone through it. Like, instead of having, like, the affinity things, you have they're called, like, quiet moments. And, it's just the characters talking to each other, just like one of those, like, heart-to-hearts would be. But, I just think about the quality of writing for the heart-to-hearts in original compared to the writing in this, and it's, like, definitely better. And it's just like, yeah, like, here is the good shit. Here is what I love about these games. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things where I'm just like, hey, I'm glad that I've played this. I'm glad to, like, fill this hole in my Xenoblade knowledge. I'm gonna finish this up, and then I'm fucking ready to go on to 3. I'm just being a Xeno freak though, because it's like I'm just thinking like, damn, after this I gotta play Xenoblade or Xenosaga. I gotta play fucking, eventually I'm gonna have to get Xenogears, whenever I get 100 something bucks to buy that shit. I don't fucking know. And Xenosaga 3 is only getting more expensive. It's only getting more expensive, so that's gonna be a real problem in the future, but
Gone are the days that
whatever.
it just hung out on the GameStop shelf.
Yeah, I remember like saying like, "Oh, I got a pretty alright deal buying Xenosaga 2 for like $50 at a game convention." And just like having one of my friends be like, "Oh yeah, well I remember when it was at GameStop and it was like $5 and they had 17 copies of it just sitting there, and I was just like, well, shit sucks. Shit's bad."
Hey man, I still kick myself in the pants over the fact that there is a copy of Tulip at a Five Below, literally going for $5, and I did not pick it up.
I sold my copy of Monster Rancher 4 when I was a kid. That's expensive now.
My copy of We Heart Katamari is still... Well, this is the one of, like, how many times I've bought this game. For whatever reason, I've bought it, like, a couple of times now. And, yeah, for the most part, that stays at, like, the $30 range, even when we were buying them, like, new. Which, take it or leave it. $30 now, different from $30 back then for the most part.
Right.
But no, I always think it's such a fascinating way that you have explored the Xenoblade series specifically, in terms of being able to have everything about 2 and going back to 1, because of the fact that even with this HD remaster, that is still a JRPG from like 2011, 2010. And so to see the staggering difference in that many years of just writing, gameplay dynamics, just seeing all these beat for beat, it is easy to look at Xenoblade 1 and go, this is it. This is peak. Nothing's going to top this. Especially to see the direction that 2 goes in. But at the same time, it's been also invigorating to hear people just go like, no, Xenoblade 2 is good writing. You just, have to look past stuff that may immediately put you off. The anime factor is definitely high in Xenoblade 2, but everything else I hear about it is just legitimately solid storytelling. Give or take, like Rex's voice actor in the English dub. But
yeah, and I mean, like, it seems like they've taken the criticism to heart in 3. Like, I everything I've seen of I have very purposefully kept myself in the dark for a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 just because I knew that I would love it, and I just want to experience it myself. But, like, all the character designs I've seen have been good. They've been kind of anime, but they've definitely been way less over the top.
They took,
compared to,
like,
2.
I still don't know if it is there in 2, but we have a cat girl protagonist in Xenoblade 3.
Yeah.
And that still strikes me as like, wait, when the fuck did we get to this point? Between the very chaste setup of the Homs and Hyantia in Xenoblade 1, the granted outlandish style of like the blades, but there's still coherence, a sense of coherence between 1 and 2 in terms of just the main races. 3 just seeing like, oh shit, all right, we're cooking with gas now, because fucking,
I mean, Nia's there, so there's a cat girl in 2.
Right. But yeah, so are gems still a thing in Xenoblade 2?
Something like gems are still in 2, but it's definitely not as fucked up.
All right, now I am on that last third of Xenoblade 1, and for the most part, I'm coasting by. Things haven't been difficult to the point of like impossible to tackle, but every now and again I'm thinking, man, I'm literally running out of inventory space because of all these gem-related things that I could do. Let me go and try to do the gem minigame. I sure am trying to do the gem minigame.
You don't have to. Like, you find enough really good ones, and like, honestly, here's what I would recommend, especially if you're like at the half third or the last third of the game. Sell all of them that aren't like 4 or 5, like everything that isn't a level 4, level 5 ingredient, and then just sit there and just like, as fast as possible, just use up all your shit in the gem minigame. And then you'll have plenty of good stuff. You don't have to worry about it. You just look through and see what would be good for your characters. There you go. That's what I did. And you know what? Maybe that's why I had to bump it down to easy. You know, that might be why, because I'm not using everything to my full advantage. But I don't know. I don't want to fuck with that stuff. It's a layer too much. I like the complexity of the Xenoblade Chronicles games. I don't like that complexity. I just think it's a bit too much. I don't care about percentages. You know?
Nah, that's totally... If you're gonna do percentages, you gotta do them fine. The decorations in Monster Hunter, it's easy. Do you do 25%? Do you do 50%? Or do you do 75% / this is no longer an issue?
Yeah.
It's that easy. And then I just ignore shit like affinity, because I don't need that. I swing a big sword. Shut up. But
that shit just kind of happens on its own. Like, you know, you can't worry too much about it.
Yeah, or, you know,
It's also the big problem with Xenoblade 1, I will say, is you really have to have Shulk in your party, like, the whole time, basically. Like, especially when they start throwing all those enemies with the auras at you, it is very, very difficult to keep up with all that shit. Like, you really, like, when you're fighting Mechon and you're fighting enemies that have auras, you have to have a Shulk because he has the easiest access to stuff like that. So yeah, you just need to have him around, and so it's harder to have good affinity for like your other characters because, you know, you have to have one of the characters is like necessary, and you basically always have to play as him too because you need to like properly time the usage of the abilities. So for 2, when, you know, you can mix and match things a lot easier. Like, you can even like have different characters have like different blades. Like, once you reach a certain point in the game, it becomes way less of a thing. You're just like actually like worrying about, you know, what characters you like to play as, what abilities you like to use. It, again, they learned a lot from 2.
Yeah, for the most part, I don't think there's ever been a JRPG where I look at the protagonist and I think, oh, I want to use someone that's not you. I am the lowest common denominator. I will often keep that main character in my party. And, you know, in some cases,
For sure.
it's a way where, oh, you know, not only do I keep this easy, consistent character, you're also giving me a lot of bullshit to work around. The way that in a lot of the Trails of Cold Steel games, you can just have main character Reen be an entire speed evasion freak that never gets hit, always counterattacks, is always racking up points for the big dumb moves. Brain is off. Brain is completely off, and it rocks. But no, like, there are definitely characters in Xenoblade that I would love to play more of. Like, I like to have Dunban in my party. I like having a healer at the very least, either through some of the healing spells Melia has or through what Charlotte can do. But to try and juggle all that while still keeping in mind that, like, late in the game, I'm going to need the stuff that Shulk does because we have very thematically appointed Shulk with the weight of the world.
Yeah.
It definitely gets rough to try and branch those out, especially in the idea of completing everything and really going for those heart-to-hearts. And yeah, it gets daunting. I think the next time I pick this up, I might try and just say, fuck it. I want to get to the end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird game. It's definitely like one of those things where it's like if I played this when it came out, I would have been like, "Oh my god, this is fucking insane. This is so cool." But playing the sequel first, it's just like, yeah, you can see where they fixed it. So, that's all I'm saying really. If you liked Xenoblade 1, please try to check out 2. It's really cool. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a little bit more news, and then we're pretty much done. So, let's see what else is going on here. Pokemon. There was the Pokemon Presents a couple of days ago. We got some more information about some games. So I guess I'll run through everything other than Scarlet and Violet first, real quick. They talked about the 2022 Pokemon World Championships real quick. They're playing a lot of games there. They got the TCG, Sword and Shield, Pokken Tournament, Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Unite. So they got 5 games. That's pretty crazy. Let me see here. Where is it being held? I'm trying to see. Oh, London. It's going to be held in London. So that is coming up soon. That'll be fun to watch. August 18th through the 21st.
Jolly good.
I'd love to watch some of that. Yeah. Gonna be able to. I guess if you're there, you're gonna be able to buy an exclusive Pikachu and Roserade plush set, where they're like dressed up in little fucking hats and shit. That's cute. Some more Pokemon Go stuff here. They're adding Ultra Beasts. You're gonna be able to catch Shaman. There's gonna be a Pokemon Go Fest 2022 finale, August 27th. There's a new daily adventure incense that lets you use it once a day and lasts for 15 minutes to bring in Pokemon that are not normally seen in your area. You might even be able to get some legendaries. They're adding some ways to catch Pokemon that you wouldn't normally be able to. Pokemon Unite, its first anniversary just happened. They are adding Buzzwole as a playable character. There will be a Pika Party mode where you can play as Pikachu, and also all the Pokemon on the field are Pikachu, so everything is Pikachu. And they're adding some more events, like some more first anniversary presents with Unite licenses and Hollowware for Blastoise, Pikachu, Snorlax, Lucario, and Sylveon. So if y'all are playing Pokemon Unite, they're adding a bunch of stuff for the first anniversary. We got Pokemon Cafe Remix. Mewtwo is showing up. I guess for the second time, you're going to be able to hire him. So that's great. You can have Mewtwo working at your cafe. That's pretty cute. In addition to Mewtwo, you can also add Victini and Latias. And Latios is scheduled later. I guess Latias showed up to work on time, and Latios is sleeping in. And then for Scarlet and Violet, we got quite a bit of stuff here. That was the big focus. So it is officially releasing November 18th, which that in of itself is making me go, I can't say too much, but I don't know if that would be wise. I will just say
we already got one game this year that, for the most part, is a pretty good, venture into what a Pokemon game could look like.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really need another one this year, as much as there's a clamor, as much as I get that Pokemon is usually the Q4 holiday release. There is no such thing as a game that gets worse because of its delay.
Right.
Unless it's like, fuck it, we're now just going to shut the project down. But,
right.
It's the Pokemon Company, it's Game Freak. That's not an issue that'll, come up.
So, Yeah, so here's some of the other stuff that they announced though. Here, I'll run you down. So they announced the name of the region, which is Paldea. They're showing off that there's a lot of like there's a lot of like wild area. Basically, most of the area is wild area in this region. There's outdoor Pokemon centers, so you don't have to go to a city to heal or buy items, which is nice. Talked about how the legendaries Koraidon and Miraidon are going to be the things that you ride in this game, which I guess means that you're gonna get the legendary pretty early on, or at least I hope so, because I would hate for it to be like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, your bike is an endgame thing. But also, the past one, Koraidon, it has wheels, but it doesn't use them. It just runs around on all fours.
People hate that they're committing to a bid. People hate that they're fucking saying, yeah, why would you need wheels when you got legs?
I think it's very funny.
It's great.
The future one does turn into a full-on motorcycle. It does ride on its wheels, which is pretty badass. Very funny. People are very mad about it though, which again, very funny. Let's see here. Some new Pokemon they showed off here. There's Cetitan, which is an ice type whale Pokemon that it's basically just gonna be like a big ol' like heavy hitter. Its ability, it's got thick fat and slush rush, which those are really good abilities. I've got to see what its moveset is like though to really make a call here. They introduced Fido, which is a fairy type Pokemon. Where its whole thing is that it is like a little dessert, and it's got the Princess Leia buns, and its breath has yeast in it. So people say that they just have this. It says that they just have this little fucking puppy go around and breathe on your food.
Is the dog breathing on my food?
It is. What the dog doing? It's huffing and puffing on my food.
Butter dog with the butter.
It does kind of have butter on it, so yeah, it is butter dog. And Paldean Wooper. So this is the new form of Wooper here. It is poison and ground. It has Poison Point and Water Absorb, which hey, those are both really good. Water Absorb on a ground type, that's pretty legit. And yeah, it likes to be in poison areas. From what I read, it's based on that. I don't remember if it's like a salamander or if it's just like a lizard. But there's a species of animal that it is venomous, but the way that it like gets its venom into you is it's like stored inside of its like bones, or like it's stored inside of its like chest or something, and it stabs you with its rib cage. Like it stabs itself with its rib cage, and then that comes out through its skin into you.
Nice.
So
love it.
Yeah, pretty sick in my opinion.
Good job, Pooper.
Yeah, well, pooper scooper. Trying to think what else they kind of talked about here. They talked about some of the characters, like you got the game is the game is set like at a school basically, or like the main hub is a school. You're like a new student and you're going around. You're on a treasure hunt, and so they said that there are 3 different paths you can take. And they said one of them is the gym trial, and then there's 2 other ones they didn't really go into any details. I guess we'll find out. But, they showed off some of your classmates, some of your one of your teachers, one of the gym leaders. And something they did point out is that the gym leaders kind of have like their own lives outside of being a gym leader. So I think they're kind of expanding on how like Black and White was, where like they put in a little effort to be like, hey, yeah, there's a world outside of the gym trial. So I think that's pretty neat. And then they also revealed the new battle gimmick for this gen, which is Terrastal Pokemon, which you use the special ball on your Pokemon, and it activates a basically a new type for your Pokemon. So you can basically just like add a new type to your Pokemon. It makes the Pokemon focused on the type. So from what I've heard, like you can catch a Pokemon and its Terra type will be like electric, let's say. If you catch a Magnemite that has an electric Terra type, it will make it pure electric type for however long it's activated. And then that will boost its electric abilities and also remove its steel type weaknesses for a short amount of time. So yeah, you're just going to be able to kind of like focus in on a type or completely change the type of one of your Pokemon. Like for example, one of the things that they said was like, oh yeah, if you pre-order the game, you get a flying Pikachu. Like it knows fly, and its Terra type is flying, so then you can, boost its fly attack. I think that seems neat. Like it's definitely not something that is like overwhelming like Dynamax or Z moves or Mega Evolutions were back in the day, but I think that they're doing that on purpose because they're like, yeah, this is something that is a lot less over the top, but it's still going to change the competitive scene, in my opinion.
It is similar. And it feels similar to Z moves in that literally every Pokemon can have this. I am assuming like every Pokemon has access to a Terra type, even if it is just, one of the types they already have. But the way that I read it, it's like, oh, this is a way that you can still figure out your team so that, like, oh, if you want, like, a Persian with ground Terra type, that'll make, fucking, I don't even know if it's in its move pool, but put a Bulldoze or Earthquake on it so that way you at least have a like additional means to provide like stab damage to a Bulldoze or an Earthquake. Like I get what it wants to go for. I think it's interesting. The collective way or the collection aspect of it too, where there's like, certain terrestrial Pokemon that can like have a fun little addition or like a different form change, because Flying Pikachu, it's like, oh, it's got the whole like balloons on it and everything. But then otherwise, it's like, oh, I'll have like the green Terra type, gives them a little bouquet. You get a little candelabra if you're fire. Like I like that there's still little splashes and additions that still make, that bringing it back to that collectability aspect, which is neat.
Yeah, and so from what I have read, you will be able to change the Terra type as well. I guess there will be some sort of item that changes it. That might be a leak. I don't remember. I'm sorry if that is. But I read it on Twitter. I'm pretty sure. So
put my Pokemon through the god dang like penny cruncher machine.
Yeah. Because they do become like crystallized when you activate this. By the way, I don't know if I said that. It does look it looks pretty crazy. But the way that just like with the max raids in Sword and Shield, to find Terra Pokemon, you will go underground and do raid battles to catch them. So yeah, there's just ways that you can get them. You can go online, battle with your friends, catch some Pokemon. It seems really fun. Like all this stuff that they have shown on for this game has made me pretty excited. Again, I just am worried about it coming out and maybe being buggy in some way, shape, or form, perhaps. That's all I will say.
Again, it's one of those things where, knowing full well the way that Pokemon Legends Arceus is out, and people still love Legends Arceus. Like, I would say that is definitely coming now to, like, the beginning of August, and seeing, for the most part, 2021 has been kind of lighter in terms of immediate major releases. It's definitely going to change once we hit that last stretch of time. Thinking about stuff that's on the horizon, Legends Arceus is still one that I would say plenty of people would go back to and go, "Oh, I love this." Like, or that's definitely going to be a game that changed my expectations, or was just positive in a way that I didn't expect out of Pokemon in a while, especially coming out of the tail end of Sword and Shield, which again, plenty of good things. Like with any series, like the continual iterations are always going to have pieces of good coinciding with more glaring issues or concerns, so it's understandable. Again, it's just that thing where it feels like this could have still come out next year to act as the we got our one Pokemon game for the year. Awesome.
Right.
And then just get started on the next one that they'll inevitably put out within a year.
Right.
But there's at least what feels more of like a buffer to it. I don't know. Again, a lot of cool things. It's not like it's completely like a lost cause. I definitely won't call it that. I definitely am feeling that late stage Breath of the Wildization effect. And I don't know, it's nothing against the game itself specifically. It's more so we got to be able to vary this up a bit. If you're giving me a Pokemon that looks like a jet engine motorcycle, and you give me the option to be in the air, you got to make it look like a shitty Ace Combat game.
We gotta do some new stuff, folks.
Just some new stuff. Just
a little bit.
A little bit. That's all I'm asking. Just a little bit of variance. A glider is neat. I'm not saying that it's not. There are just several of them.
All right. Here's the last bit of news here. We got a handful of other things here. So Crypt of the Necrodancer got a pretty big update a couple of days ago. Had the Synchrony DLC. It's out now on early access, and it adds online multiplayer to the game for up to 8 players for co-op or versus. That's pretty neat. And they also teased a new game in the Necrodancer franchise called Rift of the Necrodancer. It's going to be a rhythm game, but they didn't really announce anything else. But hey, more Necrodancer in now and in the future. So that's pretty neat.
I like Necrodancer. Novel little game. Fun little deal.
Definitely something that people are excited about. And then we got another Tactics Ogre remake, folks. I don't mean to say that like, oh boy, not again. No, like people are excited about this. I mean, I know people aren't like too crazy about the graphics because it's like that smooth pixel look, which does look bad. I agree, but hey, they're redoing the soundtrack. They updated the design a bit. It's coming out November 11th. Tactics Ogre Reborn, Switch, Steam, and PS4 and 5. You know, that's something. I haven't really played Tactics Ogre, but I know people really like the Square Enix Tactics games.
I do hear good things out of them.
They did say that they are bringing in some of the improvements that were in the PSP version as well, so they're ranking it up as well. This isn't just going to be like a straight remake of the original. And the last bit here is yet another story of a company, of a convention being stupid about COVID. We got TwitchCon happening in a few months, I want to say. Yeah, in October. And they officially announced that there will not be any kind of mandates for vaccines, tests, masks, anything. They are just saying, yeah, no, it is all up to you. You know, fuck it. We don't care that COVID is still happening and it is still yet again having another spike. Fuck you. Come to our convention. And it seems like it's something that maybe the higher ups mandated, because I definitely saw some people who work for Twitch basically just being like, yes, please send in a complaint to our official complaints feed. Like, send us emails so we can show it to somebody, like that kind of thing. So hopefully that changes. Like Anime Expo flip flopped a bit, and that Anime Expo wasn't perfectly safe, but it was definitely better than it would have been if it wasn't. If they didn't put those mandates in. And like Otakon just happened like a week or two ago, and everyone I know who went was just being like, "Hey, it's been pretty safe actually. Like I didn't see anybody not wearing a mask, and I felt safe there. We all felt safe, and I haven't really seen anybody saying they got sick from Otakon, and it's been like a week out. So, hey, who'da thunk? Masks will work. These mandates will work, and it's still fucked up out there, but also things will get better if there are actual rules being enforced, and TwitchCon is just ignoring that. So that sucks.
Yeah,
Hopefully that changes.
like again, I am now just 9-10 days out of my own initial exposure, which I'm still completely clueless as to how it happened. Between uh, at the same time, I can understand where it's like you know constantly make sure I have a mask indoors, make sure that literally unless I can be 100% certain that I'm just out,
Mm-hmm.
like I'll just have no mask. Like, for the most part, the spread in outside environments is no longer a point of concern. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? It's usually the actual indoor space setup, and it's definitely can still be as annoying as people forget to mask up in the bus. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, whatever it was, sure, by all means, fucking accepted that it happened, and will carry on. It is still just the fact that if you are someone that is holding an event, an indoor event, you gotta, do better than what. Defaulting to the city is the part that drives me nuts about this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, yes, multiple cities have been affected by a lack of business, tourism, and just a lot of other external factors that if they're able to use any sort of leeway to say, hey, treat things like normal so you can still make use of the city like normal, they're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes stuff like event spaces and just the willingness to say, all right, that's that. We're going to go ahead and do whatever. It's really disheartening alongside just other things that, like, people I know who stream on Twitch already have to deal with. And
Mm-hmm.
this idea that, having a weekend event to celebrate the community, quote unquote, of the live stream gaming platform, and to hear, like, oh, by the way, no vaccinations, no masks, just go ahead,
Mm-hmm.
do what you want. It's like, dude, you're already taking part of my cut. Don't take weeks that I'm not going to be able to make because I'll be hacking a lung up from COVID.
Mhm. Yeah, well, we're just gonna have to keep talking out about this stuff and hopefully shit changes. Because it's not over yet. It's not gonna be over for a good long while, so
Also, just keep a
that's how it
mask on
goes.
you. It's easy. It helps to reduce the spread of anything. Like,
Hmm.
e-
I was I've gotten sick at conventions before, just like, before all this shit. You know what? I didn't get sick at Anime Expo because I wore a mask the whole time. And I'm probably gonna just do that from now on whenever I go to convention, because like, even if we are past this pandemic, whenever the fuck that happens, if that ever happens at this point, it would just be nice to not have to, worry about having to miss a bunch of work after coming home from a convention or something, because, my weekend of fun also comes with a bunch of people not being, safe. Like, I remember when I was in high school, my friends like went to a pool party at a convention, and I very explicitly stayed at the hotel because I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not getting in a pool with all these fucking people." And I was the only one who didn't get sick, and I was just like, "Yeah, you know what? Like we should all just take precautions like that. Just like think for a minute, because fuck it, it's not worth it. It's not worth being sick.
it's really
Like
not.
it like if something happens, like it's just like, we can't always be 100% safe. I'm not trying to, like, I do not want to be like poo poo to you if you got COVID. Like, of course not. It happens. You get sick. We're trying to exist in this fucking shitty time. It happens. Like, no matter what you're trying to do. But if you're not out there trying to prevent illness, if you're not out there trying to help other people, then yeah, fuck you. That's basically it.
God, people shit out their doo-doo ass is all I'm saying.
They really do. They love to poo poo their caca wee wee doo doo.
And to make it feel better for you, it's easy to just have a mask on you. Have some hand sanitizer on you.
Yeah.
I was looking, I saw that
Take care of
tickets for
yourself.
MacFest are going up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, maybe.
Maybe.
Never been to a con, so. Or legitimate, like, con.
Mm-hmm.
Because did Comic Con for a year. That was fun. It was mainly just hanging out at Artist Alley and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But something like that'd be neat to, like, experience for the whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't gotta worry about COVID. I would rather not worry about COVID if I'm trying to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you would like to talk about? We do have a question. But other than that, is there anything else?
Nah, it's been a week. Again, a week of recovery. Thankfully,
Mm-hmm.
have been recovered. So
Mm-hmm.
now it's
All
just
right.
hanging.
All right. Well, if you want to send in a question, you can go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask, and you'll sound like this. Cello Buster asked, would you eat the Pokédog breath bread? Also, would Fido be considered a pure bread? For the second one, fuck you. No, I mean, it is pure fairy, so I guess so. I guess so. And then for the first one, I feel like at a certain point, like, if you're living in the Pokemon world, there's all kinds of fucked up shit going on. You're eating all kinds of stuff. Like, Chansey, you're just, like, producing eggs out of nowhere, and you're just like, yeah, I guess I'll eat that. Alcremie is just made of whipped cream. And I guess people eat some of that. Like, I guess they, like, produce their cream, and you just eat it. So,
The Pokemon that
I guess
produces
I would...
cream, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Miltank.
So, yeah. I guess,
I mean, I don't think Fido. the Pokemon proper would be all that fun because like they still need to be baked into bread.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat it. I would not eat the dog, but like if it's gonna breathe onto something and just like make it like nice and tasty, sure.
Literally just calling it over. Yo, check this out.
Yeah, man, check this out.
And then cool, my bread will rise in like an hour.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll take it. I'm not picky.
Just you
Well,
got to make sure that Fido isn't around if you're making unleavened bread, because
yeah, you don't want to fuck it up.
that could get very finicky and like.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I think that does it for this week's show. Thank you so much for hanging out, Maverick.
Of course, it's my pleasure.
Anything you want to shout out before we head off?
Anything that I want to shout out? No, everything sucks. Everything stinks.
Damn, all right.
Yeah, I'm a hater now. Professional hater.
All right, what are you shouting out before you got? Where can people follow you if you're to see all your hating?
If you want to see new professional hater Maverick, go on all of his hate rants and epic cringe search. You can go to Twitter at Mavsplaniamania. That's at MAVSPLANIA and gonna be, just doing my reverse shout outs.
All right. So, of course, I will give the shout outs to all the places that you can follow us as a site. We have our website, videogamechoochoo.com. We got our Twitter, at VGCC. Our Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. Facebook.com/videogamechoochoo. YouTube.com/videogamechoochoo. And Twitch.tv/VGChoochoo. We got all kinds of stuff going on there all the time. Scott's been streaming here and there. You can check out the Twitch for that sort of stuff. Come hang out with us in the Discord, the GameZone.zone. You type that into your web browser and it'll bring you straight there. We got stuff going on. I think maybe we should do some events in there sometime. Maybe watch some stuff. I'm feeling like it might be time to bring that back. I'm feeling it. And if you want to support us, go to patreon.com/VGCC, where you can donate $3 a month to get access to all kinds of content that we've got going on. We're talking about some stuff. We're trying to figure out what we want to do with the Patreon. I know it's a little weird, but I definitely want to. I want it to feel like a good investment instead of just something that you can kind of ignore. So we're talking about it. We're gonna figure it out.
You'll get my custom hate mail.
Yeah, if you want Maverick to just personally tell you to fuck off, we can figure that out if you want that. Like, if you're a patron, just let me know. Maverick can set that up for you.
I got you.
And of course, we got you. Of course, thank you to Melt Channel/Magic Circuit for a theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. You could go on to meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. I guess it was Bandcamp Friday yesterday when we were recording it, so sorry about that. Next month, I guess, will be the next time that you could do Bandcamp Friday, or you could just buy it whenever, and they will still get a cut. So think about that. Bandcamp, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com for all their music. And of course, if you want to follow me, it's at JOHN_MICHONSKI. Go ahead and follow me on there. I'm always posting about some shit. I don't know. And that will do it. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. So long.